So I want to start with Joe Sexton, who has described himself to me as an old fart, who knows absolutely nothing about technology. He called himself a moron. And Joe, you've insisted, rightly, that solid reporting has to come first in any good storytelling endeavor. But you initiated this unbelievable, at least for the New York Times, revolution with Snowfall, which was certainly unlike anything that at least the New York Times and other mainstream media had done at the time. So tell us, just explain yourself a little bit. How do you reconcile those two identities?
Wow. I get to explain myself and no one's charging me for it. That's awesome. Well, okay, my mom and I had issues. I concede. Well, here, maybe I'll try to explain myself a little bit and then explain a little bit about how Snowfall happened. As I begin, I'm only 6 months out of the Times, so I'm still confronting some issues of post-traumatic stress. I have most of the symptoms under control, but the sort of inexplicable and unnecessary, unprovoked swearing, I still have not mastered. But I can't remember what point in my 25 years at the Times I was in a meeting and somebody said to me about the place, which is at once majestic and hopelessly fucked up institution, said, this is a place full of rules that don't exist. It's the profundity of that statement took a second to sink in for me, and it's obviously taken some number of seconds for it to sink in for you. But I'm so charmed by it, and it was such a perfect way of capturing, an institution that had been around for 100 years or so. People out of some mixture of confusion or fear believed there were things you couldn't do or shouldn't do. And that needlessly, restricted their creativity, their personal bravery, whatever mixture of those things. So I spent a fair amount of time breaking rules that didn't exist. And then with Snowfall, we decided, why don't we just fucking break every rule? The ones that don't exist and the ones that do exist. Because, it might have been a pretty hard sell on its face to say, let's do 17,000 words on a disaster that claimed, only 3 lives. And people would say, well, how are we going to fit that in the paper? Like, how many pages of your section are you going to give up for that? And so, well, fuck the section. Let's create our own section. At a time where newsprint costs a fortune and no one reads the paper. And then in ample conspiracy with all of the talented people at the paper, we thought, why don't we do something quite different in how we present it on the web? And the first thing that actually, Steve Dwanis and Andrew DeBagal were 2 people who really came to us and said, why don't we take the time to do this differently? And the thing they showed me at the time was, I can't even recall at Providence at this point, but I think it was something on ESPN and Doc Ellis's no-hitter when he was high on LSD. And somebody had done some integrated presentation on the web about it. And so we were like, hey, Doc Ellis is, no-hitter on LSD. Let's do Snowfall. And it came to be. The fun part of it is at the end, it's just a news story, and it's the ultimate, or one of the ultimate sort of TikToks. Anybody who's ever been sent out on some police shooting in the Bronx, we all love TikToks, and usually we're working with way too little material, and so TikToks become this elaborate kind of fake. And here, you could really do a TikTok with an extraordinary amount of actual hard information. So, everything from the simulated avalanche that appears during snowfall is based on actual, computations of how much snow was there and how fast they would move. And we got scientists in Switzerland to do those computations for us. Anyway, it had some storytelling challenges that were far more basic than, sexy web stuff. And one of them is it has 16 skiers, 3 of whom die, each of whom doesn't know how many other skiers are with them at any time. And so, we had a pretty good challenge. We had given this 17,000 words to the news desk, which is sort of the final hurdle to clear before you publish something at the New York Times. And a guy read it cold, read 17,000 words, and he was like, "Are you guys going to have a map with this?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah, we got fucking maps out the wazoo." But my favorite map in it was you were able to actually follow the individual paths of the skiers down Tunnel Creek. And they would move, in time with your reading. So
Okay, let me, sorry to interrupt, but let me just ask you about that because as a reader, I thought the design was totally beautiful. I loved all of the extra elements. In fact, I read the whole story and I listened to the interviews and everything else. But I did find myself, now I'm an old-fashioned kind of girl, just like you're an old-fashioned kind of guy, being distracted between what I wanted to read and what I wanted to look at. And so how do you avoid people being distracted by all of the great things, all the bells and whistles, as everybody calls them?
Well, I don't think you can sort of approach it as, wishing that they don't get distracted. I think you just give them, something different, and they will experience it as they do, and they will either say, it worked for me or it didn't. I mean, one of the odd things of having been a part of creating this is that I have absolutely no feel for what it felt like for a person coming to it cold to read and experience, because I spent like 6 months with it and saw it in all of its different iterations. So I probably have the least feel of anybody about whether it actually succeeded. The reaction we got seems to suggest it succeeded for a lot of folks, but it would not surprise me at all to learn that it didn't succeed for others. But I think you can't really shackle yourself to the idea of, can we, because part of the rationale for doing it this way was to get away from the distraction of having to actually leave the written story if you wanted to go somewhere completely elsewhere and experience a video or a graphic. So the idea was, take a shot at trying to present something that they might experience those things, at least theoretically, seamlessly. If this hadn't happened, I don't think I would be here, although it's hard not to believe Harvard wouldn't have found some way to invite me here. But John Branch wouldn't have won his Pulitzer. I don't think it would have taken off the way it did, other than, news organizations, and the Times in particular, much as I love and adore them, the one thing they're strikingly bad at is promoting their own stuff. They think like somehow that's untoward or unbecoming, whatever. As their fucking stock price goes down to 2. And so we were going to do, Snowfall was ready to go, and we sat in a meeting with senior editors and whatever, and we were like, and somebody said, well, this is really fucking good. We should get it out there. And people were like, oh, I don't know, why we're going to be sharing some piece of it or whatever, it'll get out. What 17,000 word story is going to get out about 3 folks who got croaked in Washington, whatever. But then anyway, I went back to my desk fairly dispirited and without the ability to actually do something creative. And I was like, wow, who had the biggest Twitter followers at the Times? Whatever. And because we had created a little like a trailer for Snowfall, and I was like, oh, Nick Kristof, he has a few followers, whatever. And so it was like 9 at night, and I sent them, or like half dozen of them, I sent them the little trailer. And, it was not going to go up until, the following evening, whatever. And, if I was in the confessional, awkward as that is these days, I would probably say I did this intentionally, but I won't, and didn't say that to my bosses. But I was sort of ambiguous about when they should go ahead and tweet it out. So they did overnight. And I got into the office the next day, and it was as if, the fucking world had ended. The senior manager was seething. They were like, what the fuck did you do? And I was like, I don't know. I gave the thing to some like Twitter guys. And the little server they had built for the trailer, and I'm pretending to even know what that means, had collapsed or fucking drowned or something. And but they were like, we got to put this thing up right now. I was like, really? Why? And they were like, whoa, people are demanding it or whatever. Well, that's what we do. Like, we never just put up a little part of something. And we're like, well, man, that's a good idea, because the world seems to be going fucking crazy about it. And because we couldn't actually put it up, they were, the senior managers were just, yeah! But they couldn't do anything about it. And the thing went absolutely berserk. And people were like, I can't wait to see the rest of this shit. And at like 3 PM it went up, and whatever, the clouds had been seeded. People were actually looking forward to something. But it was as if you were the most heretical person who ever lived. Like, why would we promote our shit? Anyway, by accident, they had an enormous, and I absolutely believe that had we just launched it at 3 that afternoon, whatever, it would have looked nice on the homepage, and everybody would have felt good about themselves, whatever. And I would be like, Deputy Obits person.